Should be live, baby. Let's get it started.
Hell yeah.
Let's get it started, man. All right. So, welcome to the Dickin Around podcast with Josh and Phillip. This is Phillip.
And I'm Josh.
Yeah, there he is. That beautiful bastard over there. In the what I thought was a Carolina Hurricanes hat, but is actually a Georgia Bulldogs hat. So,
Go dogs, baby.
hell yeah. So
Hell
yeah, this
What's
is.
up with you today, buddy?
Oh man. Well, first of all, I'm fucking exhausted, which is the great way to start off your flagship episode. I'm sure. I got like 8 hours of sleep. I'm just tired. I don't know what to tell you. It's the way it is.
I feel you, man. I didn't get as much sleep, but went and did a little work, if you want to call it that, and then came home, and I think the nap actually made it worse. I took about a 90-minute power nap, and it just made it worse. But that does bring me to my first thing that I want to say on this podcast officially is Josh's tequila selection of the week.
Hell yeah.
So basically, I'll be featuring a new tequila every week, and I think this one's gonna wake me up a little bit. It pairs well with one of my favorite sodas. So let me go ahead and show you what I got going on.
Nice little show and tell. Margaritaville.
All right, so this bad boy is called Margaritaville, and I found it by accident. I bought it because it was cheap one day. I know, go figure. But it hails from Jalisco, Mexico, and the best thing about this bad boy is it pairs with Sundrop. It was like they were made to go together. So you're gonna want to get one of these bad boys.
And the extremely regional drink of Sundrop. Highly accessible.
Well, you gotta start local with this kind of stuff, Phil.
No, hold on. Tequila is not like champagne, right? Like you can make I can make tequila in my basement and it's tequila, but I can't make champagne outside of France and not call it sparkling wine. You know, like it's not the same thing, right?
Right, like you can't make scotch outside of Scotland, and you can't make bourbon outside of Kentucky.
Right. But so
you
tequila is
you
like
can
that.
make tequila. Yeah, no. Tequila just has to be made out of the agave plant.
Okay, gotcha.
And then mezcal's a whole different world of shit. But no, you can make this in a prison sink or your girlfriend's bathtub, whatever you need to get it done.
Whatever's
So,
most accessible.
My vehicle this week is it's just going to be a rocks glass, half ice. And if you're not doing at least half tequila in the mix, you're doing it wrong.
Bold statement. I like it. Starting off strong. So you're sipping on that. I made myself some water and that's all I have to drink. That's what I got going on. Fucking delicious. Oh man.
First sip of the day. Cheers, Phil.
Hell yeah, man. Cheers. It looks a little bit like aloe vera drink. Have you ever had that before? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I did not know that was a thing.
So it's kind of like an Asian drink, and they sell them in like I don't know what the word would be, cultured supermarkets. I don't know what the right branding is, and I think sometimes you can get them in like a more like local place, but
You're not gonna find it at your local Piggly Wiggly then.
I'd probably Ingles, Piggly Wiggly, Harris Teeter. I don't think it's gonna be carried there.
Yeah, you're gonna want to go where they sell the fresh guac made live for you at about $15 a quart.
Shit. Well, first of all, that's Whole Foods, and I hate to say it, but as good as the fucking guac, yeah, it's expensive as hell at Whole Foods, but it's so damn good. It's literally the best guacamole I've had in my life, which is ridiculous because I know for a fact that they don't have, Mexican sweatshops in the back pumping that shit out.
Right.
But
well, if it's not made at the hands of a Mexican, then is it real guacamole?
probably not, man.
I don't think so. I think that goes back to the last thing.
Yeah, for real. If it's not made by like some dude named Juan who's like in a 120-degree truck, it's not really guacamole.
Right. It has to be prepared by someone with the surname Gonzalez or Suarez.
Ramirez.
Ramirez. Any S is a word. So Anyway, well, that's unfortunate you're not sharing a drink with me, but I'll get over it. It won't be the first time.
No, it'll probably be almost every time because you know me. I'm not a big like non-social drinker. Just
Yeah.
the way that it
Well,
is.
this is social,
That's true.
and
That's true.
this is actually extremely social. Hopefully, eventually, but yeah. I was thinking, why didn't we invite like Chris and Mater and at least to stop by and check it out? You want to drop them a link?
Yeah, go for it, man. And that's I don't know. I don't really care about bringing in some close friends in the beginning, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't really cross my mind. I was more worried about making sure that we could actually get this shit on the internet first. So
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying as like guest stars or
yeah,
co-hosts.
no, I
I'm
know what you
saying they
mean.
can fucking we can fill some shit out in the chat and watch us.
Yeah, some free labor and participation.
Right.
But
Or as you see, I do have a free guest host seat here, so if they want to stop by at some point, we
well,
can.
they can't see
They
it
can
because
bring a
I
microphone.
got it focused in right on your face, so nobody else can see that
Oh,
you're actually. Although, why not? Fuck it. I'll just zoom it out real quick, and they can see your whole setup there. Your whole right arm.
yeah. You can pan over right over here. This is, you know, there's an optional like if you want a hoe involved or
But
what are your bros. Obviously, we know which one we pick first, but
definitely
I
the
do
hose.
have a yeah. It doesn't go like the original saying.
No, all of that shit is in the past.
Yeah, fuck that, man. What you learned in grade school is bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty true, man. Like, and it's funny that you say that because you know how people get really hung up about like the Thanksgiving story, and it's like, well, how are you gonna tell fucking like 7-year-old children? Yeah, so the real story is we got together a bunch of their like these other Indians and we killed a whole bunch of other Indians and then we had a whole meal about it. Like you don't just tell it. You're just like, yeah, they were just thankful. They were just thankful
Yeah,
and
we we tricked them into all coming together and cooking for us, and then
that's
then
actually
we
way
learned
more American.
their true locations. Oh yeah, no, like I said to you the other day, classics are classics for a reason, buddy. This country was built on two things, and one's genocide, and the other is baseball.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, we got a lot to fucking talk about with baseball today because we've been talking about baseball the whole fucking week.
Dude, I'm coming in hot on baseball, okay? Because you know everybody's been talking about the pitch clock. It's silly to say the least, but the
That's
things
that's your
that
strongest adjective. It's silly.
it's well, I mean, I could go, but it literally it's just silly. Like it
Yeah.
deserves nothing more, nothing less. It's obviously you and I both big Braves fans. The first spring training game of the season ends at a 6-6 tie, bottom of the ninth with bases loaded, and the game ends on a pitch clock violation on the batter, may I add. And no, I mean, dude, I saw a video yesterday. We were thinking about it, and I was like, man, there's got to be something else in baseball we can talk about. And then the first thing I see is Max Scherzer has double play erased by pitch clock.
Oh my
And it,
god.
it was literally like a hair decision, but it was so close. He got the pitch off. The ump couldn't stop the play. Batter grounds into a double play, and then they call the pitch clock violation.
So
Which, yeah,
yeah, so that's fucking weird. First of all, so they're gonna overturn like a live because I feel like in the NFL, right? Let's say you're going to the what are they called? Like the delay a game penalty. Oftentimes it's like when the clock hits zero, it's not actually at zero, but they don't have that. Like that's not electronically like measured in the same way in the MLB, is it? Because I feel like it's just the fucking umpire looking at the clock. So like if it goes off, let's say there's like zero point 0.3 seconds left, that's not electronically measured, I don't think, right? So like how can they actually do that? Like so, and I guess the follow up question to that is so they're sitting there in Chelsea and they're fucking like they're gonna call back plays like that. Like that's crazy.
yeah, no, that's the best thing I could say is like do it something if we're gonna compare it to the NFL because like you catch somebody off sides with a snap count, you get a free play, right? So
Right.
basically, if it's a violation on the pitcher, I say, you know, um, that maybe the batting team gets a
Hmm.
call and say, hey, let's bring it back. But if the guy hits a fucking home run and they call it back, people are going to start fighting and hitting people and
Yeah.
fans. It's going to be 2012 or 2013 with the Braves all over again. You have to clear the field because people are throwing everything out. Like,
Yeah, a few choice northeastern cities I can name off the top of my head. There's going to be some problems with that.
God help us if it happens in Philly to Bryce Harper. The
Phil-
world may end.
Jesus Christ. Jesus
But
Christ.
yeah, I thought that was crazy because there's so many different ways that they've actually been calling the violations that even me, I thought I knew the ins and outs of baseball. It's hard for me to learn because they just either they're not executing it properly or it's just not a great rule.
Well, it's
So
not intuitive. I mean, it's not like you could have played baseball your entire life, been in the sport, be a coach, a manager. You'll like it's not these rules don't make sense. They just don't.
yeah, well, I mean, and there's always been a delay game. It's just never been enforced by the umpires. The umpires will, they'll let the pitcher have 3 or 4 seizures out there on the rubber before he releases the ball, and that's baseball, baby. It's just a
Right.
flair to it, right? And now, oh God, now we put a timer out there. We put like something that they can actually see and enforce.
Right.
Here we go. Angel Hernandez, your 15 minutes of fame are here, buddy, because it's time to start getting your footprint, your fingerprint on some games. It's just, oh God, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be that enjoyable. I think they may end up canning it, which is what I'm
Yeah.
rooting for at this point.
And obviously like the whole thought process behind it, like if you're dumb as hell, it makes sense. And like I don't even mean that in a mean way. Like obviously the MLB is trying to speed up the game for many different reasons. Like I totally get it. It's just like I just feel like in most like the average pitch to pitch, like batter to batter, there's not that much time I feel like for them to make up in. And I think they first started to do it. Obviously, like they made the warm ups. It's like you get 2 minutes in between innings or something like that. Like that made the most sense to me. But I just there like let's say 97% of pitches, it's like maybe 20 to 30 seconds anyway. Like I feel like putting this clock on it is just it's putting people in awkward positions. And obviously the other side of that argument as well, we make this change now and then 5, 10 years from now, we got kids coming up the pipeline where they're coached to play with this rule, but it's just ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. It's not intuitive. It's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, so the way I like to look at it is, baseball was different. It's not called the Great American Sport or the Great American Competition. It's the Great American Pastime. So I
Yeah.
feel like it's less important, especially when you go to a game. I mean, sans the game that we attended last year, that was a day game where we were sitting in left field and scorching in the sun. I'm not going to go down that road, Philbo. I'm not coming in that hot. But
I stand by those seats.
God damn it. Uh, uh, no, I feel like it's a game that's it really caters more to a live audience as it should. But it's more about enjoying time with your friends, family, going out, walking around, catching an activity, having a good conversation, having a laugh with your buddies, and then oh shit, I heard the crack of a bat. Let's pay attention. Let's see what's going on.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
not like on you're on your toes on pins and needles watching every pitch like oh shit, something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's more of a pastime. It's more of an enjoyable experience, and now that we're gonna have to pay attention to the pitch clock, like because you're gonna look up and be like, I have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
Like when they called that balk live, I'm like, I've never seen a professional pitcher balk in a live game. Can somebody that's not half drunk and and balls deep in a plate of barbecue tacos tell me what just happened?
100%, man. Yeah. Somebody's not deep throwing a hot dog. Let me know what's going on. Yeah.
I'm saying, hey, those fucking tachos were the shit.
They
Though.
fucking were, man. Yeah. Truth Park actually has some pretty damn good concessions, man. Even like the shitty pizza, it's like it's shitty in a good way. It's kind of like some of the good frozen pizza. It's not bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean to that point, like, and it's the pastime, but then people, and it's just the way like our culture or society has just changed so much where Nobody's passing time anymore. We're all looking at 20-second videos on TikTok. Like, it's just nobody's burning time like that. We're not in a semi-agricultural society like we were back in the late 18 to the early 1900s, where people just get together in the town and watch a baseball game at the end of the day, at the end of the week or whatever, between the two company teams. That's just not what's going on anymore. So it's yeah, and that the game has to adapt to that. It has to be shorter than 2.5 hours long. Uh, which is funny because the NFL doesn't like NFL games, or football games. It doesn't, not necessarily professional, but football games can be 2.5 hours and nobody bats an eye. But everybody complains about how long a baseball game is. It's just I don't know, and I get it. It's different strokes for different folks and all that, but it's just like a weird
And I mean, when
argument.
we actually get down to the nitty gritty, here's the thing. I don't give a fuck if it's 2 hours,
Yeah,
4 hours, or I don't care. Look, let me watch it. Don't make me steal it
exactly.
online. Don't make me watch it on my laptop. Let me watch it on my streaming TV, on my smart TV, without paying these communist bastards money for the cable. I don't want to do that anymore. And we gotta wake up. We gotta wake up at some point, and we gotta figure out that, like, hey, there's people like Josh and Philbo out there that want to watch the game, but no, you live in Georgia, so if you're a Braves fan, you gotta pay the premium, buddy.
Yeah,
Let's punish our fans and make it inaccessible.
yeah.
To that point, I might not be able to see too many pitch clock violations. We'll just see how Hulu pans out this season.
You just watch the phone on like the Google Live updates. That's how you
Yeah,
watch the game.
for real.
You don't really have a
I
choice.
just got my ESPN pulled up with the live box,
Yeah.
box score stream.
Exactly.
Like, oh shit, pitch clock violation. Can't wait to see that highlight in about 45 minutes.
You pull it. You're following along with your own pen and paper, so you can mark the game.
Doing my own little scorecard.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
yeah, that shit's
it's
ridiculous.
man. It's so stupid that I can't watch because not everybody's built like me, man. Not everybody's gonna be like, hey, there's a baseball game on right now. I can go out and do something or go catch up with somebody or get something else done.
Right.
I'll sit here for the next 3 hours and watch a whole regular season baseball game.
Yeah.
Just
100%.
let me.
Yeah, let me give you the money. Let your advertisers try to advertise me some shit. Just let me pay for it.
When I was in Savannah, they all the games were blacked out. It was so frustrating because I couldn't even buy the MLB package because if I buy the MLB package, it's still blacked out. How fucking stupid is that? Like, I even tried it. I got the free trial, put my credit card in and everything, was totally willing to pay for it and the extra innings and all that shit just so I could watch it.
Yeah.
And then the Braves games are still fucking blacked out because I don't have goddamn Comcast.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And then I would get so excited because I would see a game. It's like, oh shit, there's a game on TBS. Oh shit, there's a game on TNT. Oh, there's a game on ESPN. Guess what? I go to that channel on Hulu, and now I have to watch fucking ladies golf because guess what? Blacked out again, buddy.
Well, first of all, you should have gotten way more into ladies golf. That's where you went wrong.
Why do you think that's almost all I watch?
Yeah, you're out there watching bowling and tiddlywinks. You've been completely converted to an alternative sports.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. ESPN ate the O show.
Yeah.
Fucking tiddlywinks, tic-tac-toe competitive.
The Ocho. Not to yeah, and the Southwestern dodgeball regional finals or whatever the fuck. Oh man.
That's anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about baseball. Let me fucking watch it, okay?
Yeah.
You hear me, Rob Manfred? Look, fucking let me watch your dumbass sport. You're ruining it. I want to watch it before you completely ruin it. So, whoever that pulls that clip, send it to Rob Manfred. My phone number. No, I'm not gonna.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, speaking of, are we gonna set up an 800 number for this? I feel like we could. I kind of like that idea. I've seen a little bit more when people look at voicemails and shit. Like that's what we would I don't think we couldn't take a live caller because God forbid, I don't know how the fuck to handle that. So, but we could look at some funny voicemails, to say the least.
Yeah, no, that's definitely that's a good option. We'll have to. I mean, how much does that cost?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea.
I mean, we'll figure it out. That's not a bad idea,
Yeah.
Once we get some people watching and
Yeah.
some paid subscriptions.
Once it's not you and me jacking off into each other's webcams.
Right. 'Cause at this point, like right now, basically what we're doing is just going on a web date once a week.
Hey, that's cute. I like how you went paid subscription.
Paid subscription.
Let me turn it down real low. Paid subscriptions, baby.
Behind the table.
Shit, I'll do some ASMR for that. You know, here I'll just you mentioned my computer keys earlier.
You want to hear me drink my tequila?
Yeah. How's that hitting you, by the way? You doing good?
Man, I'm chilling out. I'm chilling in Margaritaville over here, bro.
Hell yeah. You and Jimmy Buffett in all your glory.
Speaking of Jimmy Buffett, is he alive or dead?
He's on tour. He's like 80
Is he?
fucking 7 years old. Yeah. Let me look him up real quick. I know he's on tour.
Look. I know this is our we're popping the hymen on our podcast cherry here, but I feel like
76. He's 76 years old.
All right, so
Yeah.
he's not 87. It was close, but that's another good segment that I've seen on a lot of podcasts that I think maybe not every week, but maybe like once a month, one of us compiles a list and has the other guest alive or dead, and we just pick like ambiguous pop culture figures that literally haven't heard anything from in 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Like like Ray Charles. What do you think?
Very dead.
Yeah, he's dead. But I wasn't thinking of Ray Charles. I was thinking of Bill Cosby, but I couldn't remember his name for like 2 seconds. So I was like, the other black guy.
Bill Cosby.
There's only 2 black guys. Bill Cosby and Ray Charles.
Well, no, and then there was Jamie Foxx that played both of them at one point.
Oh,
right?
that's actually hilarious. I didn't even think about that. Damn. So there's 3 black
true,
guys.
though.
Jamie Foxx plays either one of them.
Jamie Foxx impersonates them on television.
And Jay Farrow does the voices.
Right. Yeah. Wait, so there's 4 black people. What you're telling me.
I don't know. They're out of control, man. I don't know.
There's too many of them.
We'll have to rectify this next week by like having a black guest. You know that now, right? We've already screwed that up.
Well, you're in Atlanta, so it won't be hard.
That's true. We could just do. I mean, shit. We could do some. I think I mentioned that before. I'd have to like pre-record some man on the street. Fucking
You're
shit.
Just, all you have to do is walk outside your apartment.
Yeah, you're not
Hey,
wrong.
come here for a minute.
I'm not gonna hurt you. Okay. I'm not.
I feel like we're getting close to violating the Twitch guidelines that I said.
Look, I don't know what you're talking about.
They're gonna be so easy to sidestep.
You're like, oh, it's gonna be no problem. Day 1.
And we're doing
Racism.
We're tiptoeing the line, buddy.
Oh,
get a
jeez.
6-month suspension on our first podcast.
Oh my god. Well, but it's funny because, sorry, this is like apropos to nothing. But I was watching. So I was trying to look up all of the rule changes to baseball. I feel like I wasn't done talking about it yet. And I watched this. I literally watched this fucking video. I don't know who the guy is in this video here. Here he is. Joe Martinez, MLB Vice President of On-Field Strategy. I didn't even see that before. That's fucking hilarious. But he's just walking around and like demonstrating all of the shit, like for all the rule changes, because it's not just the pitch timer. The other big things that they really want you to know about. Oh, so this is the other thing. So I don't think we've talked about this yet, but they also changed it to 2. You can only pick off twice per runner.
Yes.
Like that's crazy.
Yes. So I do remember hearing that. We've been, all the highlights in ESPN has been so focused in on killing the pitch count rule that I almost forgot about it. But yeah, that's probably a bigger rule change strategy-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, so you get 2 and you're done. That's the rule. So
Yeah.
after the second pickoff, they can literally stand in between the 2.
I mean, I guess. I guess there's some sort of limitation on that, like after that. But yeah, I guess it would have to be considered like if they're more than a quarter of the way, then like once you get the ball back, because like what they could just stand almost on second.
So they just stand like as soon as the pitch goes, they touch second. Like, they just get the base.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be some sort of limitation on. on that.
You have to really think those pickoff attempts. You have to map them out pretty carefully because they're not. It's not an exactly. It's not a highly successful statistically move. So
Right.
like, it's not like because now I understand because then you'll have people that for one reason or another the
Right.
pitcher literally throws over 8 times
Yeah.
doing it at bat.
The pitcher gets pissed off because Ronald Acuna hit his 17th straight home run and didn't want to hit him and get fined $50,000. So instead, he's just next time he gets a single, he's just gonna try to pick
Right.
him off 18 times. I
Well,
get that.
that's when we go to the unwritten rules of baseball that will never change. You
Yeah.
have fun while you're playing the game. You celebrate. If you dare celebrate hitting a home run off me, I'll see you in the.
I'll kill you.
Buddy.
I'll end your
See you in the
bloodline.
bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, seriously.
You ever taken a
God.
1-1 two-seamer off the dome? You will today. Yeah, I mean that's part of the charm of baseball, I guess, if you want to call it that. But the pickoff thing does get excessive. Now I was reading, I don't know what you have pulled up or what you saw, but I thought after the second or third, whatever it was, pickoff attempt that there would be a standard leadoff, like a standard distance, like something that's marked
Yeah, that makes sense.
to where that it could be a strategy move by the pitcher to go ahead and burn those. Like if you have a really good base runner, then you can just have them stuck so that they don't get a giant lead and give your catcher a chance, that kind of thing.
Interesting. Yeah, and I guess, and obviously too, like, you also, I mean, you still don't know when the pickoff is coming. So I mean, you could just not pick off, and you're out there getting like an asshole lead, and the pitcher can still just randomly pick you off once. But yeah, I don't know. That's interesting because that would be a huge limiting factor because you get like a Mookie Betts out there, and you can just be like, nah, sorry kid, you only get you only get your standard 8 foot leadoff or whatever.
Right. You don't get to get the Trey Turner and stand 20 feet off first, just because you can make it back in the bat of an eye.
Right. Jesus.
Oh, by the way, now just off the top of my head, there is another big rule change that we haven't discussed, and it might be the biggest of them all, and that is eliminating the whatchamacallit, the shift. No more
Oh
shift.
yeah. Well, thank God. I hated the shift. I know I've talked to you about that before.
So, fun fact of the day then is since they eliminated the shift in spring training this year, Juan Soto is batting .822.
Oh my God.
Like you literally need 4 people on the right side of second base to contain that fucking guy.
Jesus Christ.
He'll hit a worm burner wherever you're not standing. He's that good of a hitter.
Yeah.
So maybe, I mean, but at the same time, it's fucking baseball, man. Play your position. There's no such thing as like 3 second basemen. Like,
No.
And there's no left fielder. You literally have one person on the left side of second.
Yeah. And I guess I always hated the shift because it wasn't like the difference, like when it was implemented a lot going back to like the early 2000s, like when they really started putting that in, like it wasn't a problem. Like you didn't have a guy who was hitting, or let me rephrase this, you had maybe like 3 guys in the league that were consistently hitting like 350 or higher in any given season. Let's make it like 5 to 10, right? That were like all like having a great season, we're doing really well. But that's out of, I mean, how many like active players? That's ridiculous. Exactly. So it's you weren't like actually shutting anybody down by doing the shift for every single player. And maybe at first it was really successful and you started getting like batting averages for just random people like under 250. But now, I mean, what happened is, obviously within the last, I would say since about 2015 is, well, all of these kids are trained to hit everywhere, basically starting in, pre high school, just from the time you're like 5 years old, you're trained to hit the ball all over the field. And that became more and more emphasized. So once people were like, well, they're going to put the shift on, just opposite blast to the line drive, into left field and you're fine. That's an easy base hit because they're going to put the shift on you otherwise. Or whatever the limitation is. And it's kind of, I mean, they kind of defeated the shift in the first place, and I think we've seen that play out a lot, especially in the last three or so seasons, where the shift is basically obsolete anyway, and it's just kind of a ridiculous thing to watch happen, especially with a guy like Freddie Freeman going up there. And I mean, he's gonna hit to the shift, but he's still gonna get hits anyway.
Yeah. Well, and I'm glad you brought him up. Freddie Freeman, he's an anomaly though, because if you actually look at him, did you know this? Because I didn't know this until like 2 seasons ago. Freddie Freeman throws with his right hand.
Yeah, no, he's weird. He's really weird
So
like that.
but
He also
then
cries when he gets traded.
it all made sense. Look, it all made sense. It was like at that it was like at that youth camp when I was a freshman in high school when they gave me the news about the Lord Jesus Christ. Like it just made sense. Like everything went off.
You
And I was
became a
like,
disciple ever
this
since then.
I was like, this man, the way his swing, he's a slap hitter. The way he swings, this man grew up and probably for the first 15, 16 years of his life was a right-handed batter. He was taught later on in life how to hit left-handed and learned how to
Right.
be successful.
Right.
Because like when you put him up against our stud of a first baseman now, Matt Olson he was writing with his left hand in kindergarten. Like
Right.
that guy has a power left swing.
Hmm.
Freddie Freeman, I feel like if you lined him up and he gave him a couple months to figure his right hand swing back out, he would be that type of power hitter from the right side of the base. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
he's an anomaly. But as far as the switch goes, with the super elite hitters that are in the league now, I mean, it hasn't been an issue. Even when you have guys like a Bryce Harper that they for some reason they just can't figure out how to go to the opposite field.
Right.
I mean, I don't think it was last season. I think it was 2 seasons ago. I think he got 3 or 4 doubles on bunts to third base. Because like they would just
I
line up
remember
third
that.
base
Yeah.
and left field, and he would just give a slow, uh, just a slow roller right, just so the pitcher can't like catch up to it and just run to second. Like it's given
Yeah.
to him.
It's yeah.
Um,
Know what you mean.
which is frustrating because I can't fucking stand Bryce Harper. But at the same time, when you look at him, you look at his mechanics. I mean, he's a great hitter. Like he's an elite
Yeah.
hitter, and it's just unfortunate that he doesn't possess the ability to like hit the ball to the left of second ever.
Or not be a douchebag.
Like, yeah, like his like his foul ball is to left field. Like I don't think he even I don't think he fouls balls off that way either. Like because he always swings so goddamn hard. Like he shits in his sliding pants just a little bit every time he swings.
I love that.
But for guys like Juan Soto, it really like it's it's been an issue because he can't really do that either. But when he does, he takes all the power off. And then with guys like him, he's not that fast of a runner. So even if he does beat the shift, like Juan Soto has been thrown out from left field before at first base.
Yeah.
Like you got a whole lot of power back there, but not a whole lot of chug-a-lug when the train gets going. So
Chug-a-lug.
uh,
Yeah. Oh, speaking of the fucking train, he's the whole train and the locomotive. But I can't believe he told me he put on 20 pounds, Ronald Acuna, and is still running like a 4.6 out there or something. Just
dude, that's
unbelievable.
What they said. I haven't weighed him personally myself.
Well, get him in here. Let's set him up.
Ronnie,
It's your time to shine, buddy.
bring the scale. No, low scale.
Jesus Christ.
He's Hispanic.
Thanks for the clarification.
By the way, I'm glad that you brought up 40 times because let's talk about our fucking boy Nolan Smith. Do you see that shit from the combine?
Nah, man, I did not.
Nolan Smith ran a 9.3940 yesterday.
What? Is that even possible? Was he
I
he
said the same
walking?
thing. I was like, you mean Nolan Smith, the linebacker? I was like,
Bro.
look it up. Because the first time they had him clocked at a 4.44, and then I saw it on ESPN as a 4.39. I'm like, the linebacker ran a 4.39?
Jesus. Okay, first of all, you didn't say. Okay, hold on a second. That's not what you just said. You said he ran a 9. You said he ran a 9 something, and I was like, what? I was so confused by that.
4.39.
No, I guess I don't know. I heard you wrong. So he ran a 4.39. Okay. Yeah, that's. I'm amazed in the opposite direction.
Well, now I get what you said.
Yeah.
Was he walking?
Like that,
What,
just
was he on all fours going in reverse?
it was actually a bear crawl 40 time. Actually, that would be pretty cool. If you did a bear crawl 40 time, that would be pretty interesting. They should throw that in the
Let's get
combo.
real weird with it. We already make them do all kinds of weird lateral movements through cones.
It's
Put that shit in a straight line.
literally literally get on all fours and beg for a spot on the team, you little slut.
Let's have them do their 225 bench reps while they do their 40.
Just fucking military pressing, running down the field.
Yeah, just
While you're at it, put on this big red nose
there's
and
some
some
guys-
shoes.
there's some fucking guys out there that would succeed. Like they that would actually their 40
Yeah,
times
you're
wouldn't be
fu-
that bad. They'd probably get like 9 or 10 reps in too.
Yeah, basically the entire Georgia defensive line.
Yeah.
They'd be fucking solid.
Yeah, when they're not racing right off campus. Did you see all that?
No, what happened there?
Well, like Jalen Carter got arrested.
Oh yeah, that's no, I remember. Yeah, I remember that now. I thought for some reason I thought you meant like foot racing, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
No, and I was like, dude, do they have like some underground like racing society? And then I looked, and the cars that these guys were reportedly racing, like Jalen Carter was in a car being driven by. By the way, we got to talk about some of these staffing people too, but I'll get to that.
All right.
By one of the female staffers, a 34-year-old female staffer with a made-up bullshit name like Technology Associate or whatever it was. It's like, no, they're out there blowing these dudes. And apparently they're street racing each other in like Ford Expeditions and Chevy Tahoes. And I'm like, okay,
What?
guys, you're doing it wrong. I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
You
Like,
gotta
they're
be kidding me
literally-
right now.
No, I'm not shitting you at all, Phillip. Like, dude,
So you're
stopped
saying-
and
so
laughed
stop,
out
stop.
loud when I was like,
So you said stop. So I can go get in the fucking Suburban right now. and I'd be right at home with the fucking Georgia skill players.
yes, yes, that's what I'm telling you. No, you have to. You're an upgrade. You have to downgrade to a fucking Tahoe.
That's true.
These guys, like the vehicles that were listed, like in excess of 100 miles an hour, are like SUVs and not like.
Oh my
super,
God.
like-
Not even like a racer, not
Super
even like a
racing.
super or
It's
something.
like, dude, now I get why they're running off the road and dying because they don't know what they're doing and they're in the wrong fucking
Oh
vehicle.
my God.
Like, I get it if they're doing 165 in a fucking BMW 5.
Right.
Dude, they lost control at 98 miles an hour in a Ford Expedition. Like, yeah,
Making
no
a left
shit,
turn
you're not supposed to-
on the
they're
left curve
supposed
on
to do that.
75.
The shit of it was, the shit of it was the speed limit was 85. They weren't even busting that much ass.
And it took him a solid 30 seconds to even get up to that speed in the first place. Like it was an extremely avoidable situation.
Right. No, this is not the Fast and the Furious we're talking about here. To get up to that speed, a Ford Expedition probably gets to 100, and yeah, probably like 18 to 20 seconds.
They had that much time to just rethink their life choices.
Yeah. And no, dude, there was time to stop the car. Okay.
And started back up again.
I'm just saying. Meanwhile, the guy in the Civic Type R has already been to Taco Bell and came back and got to
Oh, 100%.
got back to the finish line.
Jesus
No,
Christ.
for real though. Let's talk about these goddamn staffers. Like the one. Okay. So I don't like to speak ill
Those
of the dead.
those damn staffers.
But look, the young lady that was killed in the crash, along with the Georgia player. Right?
So yeah, and how long? This was what, like a month ago or something. I don't want to
it was like right. I believe it was
or
right
a couple
after
months
their,
ago.
Their parade. It was in
Yeah,
January.
it was right after they celebrated. That's right. I remember that.
Yeah. So my question is like so one of the staffers passed away, and she was much older than the players, but she was pretty hot. And then the one that was with Jalen Carter that also got a ticket for racing or whatever. She's much older, but they all have made up positions, and they're made up sounding positions. What I think they've implemented in Georgia is they have a basically a small what do you call it, a stable of young ladies in their mid to
Oof.
late 20s that are that
We're
are
getting
looking
canceled
to.
now. You know that,
All right, that's
right?
right. Kirby Smart's gonna kick my garage door down any minute. No,
Don't worry,
I
Ronald
think
Acuna's there to back you up.
I got Ronnie, baby. I got Ronnie.
Just light him on fire and send him out. It'll be fine.
And Josh Donaldson's in the backyard playing with firecrackers. Um,
And like lighting
no,
ants on
they
fire.
like so seriously, like if you want to look it up, if you don't, but they have these extremely made up names. It's like
All right, hold on. I'm gonna pull this. I'm gonna pull this up, Jamie. I'm gonna pull it up because now I'm curious. So let's
so
see.
like their physicians are like, okay, I've never heard of that in any organization ever, and it's made up because even if it was real, what I can deduce from the description of the position, this young lady's not doing it. She's there for Hummers and companionship.
All right, let's see. Well, that's the Jalen Carter stuff, but it was. Let's see. It
Yeah, look, but
was.
it'll say there was a staffer with him too.
Really?
That's what kind of triggered me on it yesterday, and then I went back and looked at the other one, and the staffer that passed away was the same type deal. It was slightly older than college age young lady that was just on the staff.
Football staffer Chandler LaCroix. That sounds like a guy's name.
That's a girl.
A girl Chandler. Okay.
So
I know there
now,
were. Yeah.
look at Chandler LaCroix's actual like
All right.
position.
Let's look her up. Hold on. Oh, you're right. She's she's pretty attractive. Let's see.
Looks looks like my conspiracy theory may have a little weight. Huh?
Hold on a second. Well, you know, I'm sure she's not the first attractive woman to ever like have a legitimate position though. But let me see here. Let's.
That's
Okay,
not
here.
what I'm
Let's.
saying.
No, I know that's not what you're saying. I'm just saying. Can I go to her Instagram? I don't. Oh, it's a
Listen,
private account. I don't have
don't
Instagram
you pull
either.
that Ellen DeGeneres fucking grammar Nazi magic on me, okay?
Oh, first of all,
I'm not gonna.
she was 24, so she was a student basically, or like just graduated.
But like I said, not a student. She was on the
Right, right,
staff.
right. She's hired by the school. I get what you're saying. Um, but yeah, it just
Obviously,
says
one of her duties was getting drunk and racing Ford Expeditions.
yeah. Evidence indicated that shortly before the crash, the expedition driven by LaCroix. So she was driving.
Yeah, she was driving.
But it's
And
also to your
the
point.
young man that was killed was actually in the back seat.
First of all, all right, hold on. Let's do a quick disclaimer. Obviously, like this is a horrible situation. Like that couldn't be made any more clear. But just the details surrounding this are, like you said, what's more interesting and what's
Right. That's why I came into it with a disclaimer. I'm not speaking
right.
ill of the dead. I'm just
Yeah.
saying the situation. I believe. I don't know how I'm the only person in America that looked at the story and like, hang on, wait a second. There's more going on here than
Okay.
like
I'll tell you
they
what.
just randomly met. It was a meet cute or they met online. Like, there's something more going on here.
Well, you talked about, so let's play this guessing game real quick. Just guess what the alcohol concentration in the blood was.
Now I saw it yesterday, so it's not really that fair. But I
Oh.
think like his is like a .19.
Let's see. Well, hers was a .197.
Okay.
I don't know what his was, but that's like okay. So I haven't
That's
looked at
drunk.
that scale. Well, that's not just drunk. That's like I believe that's like you're approaching levels of like what's the word, fatal. I believe.
Yeah, that's Josh in the hot tub drunk. Is what
Yeah.
that is.
That's just a regular Saturday night for you. Let's see. What is it called again? It's I'm like I don't know why I'm being totally stupid on this.
The
It's
BAC.
BAC, yeah, alcohol BAC. Let's just take a look at that chart real quick because I believe she's approaching like stupid levels of like it's basically deadly. Yeah, so at point
Yeah, I
one
think,
nine. Oh well, that's just a chart. That's just like a regular chart. Let's look at
yeah, I think like at point like 1.6 or 1.8, something like that. Like that's when like your motor functions are severely impaired. Like lack of
yeah.
inner ear, lack of balance, things like that.
Oh, you're really familiar with this. Let's see.
Well, there are extra stipulations on the back of my license, Phil, but we're not going to get into that right now. I'm not on trial.
I'm not asking you to prove anything. All right, let's see. At a 0.15%, this specific chart doesn't go above this. At a 0.15%,
That's a bad sign.
yeah, no, yeah, that's a bad sign. Substantial impairment in vehicle control. Well, unfortunately, that was the case. Loss of auditory information processing. So like you're not even hearing people correctly. not like not just slurred speech, but like you're not even actually hearing sounds properly. Major loss of balance and vomiting may occur, and that's at 0.15. So I don't know if it goes beyond this. Loss of judgment, trouble doing two tasks at the same time. Well, I mean
Does it say
that's just
anything
me
about racing
sober.
Ford Expeditions?
No, it doesn't. Oh, that's at 0.02. But no,
Okay.
it doesn't. So hold on a second. At 0.02, about two beers, it's saying you have loss of judgment and trouble doing two tasks at the same time. I definitely, I feel like that's not very accurate. Like,
Right, so I'm fucked. Dude.
yeah, that's gonna say right now. Try to do a podcast and drink tequila at the same time. You're fucked.
Ain't gonna happen. Um, no, so you lose your ability to race a Ford Explorer before you have your first drink.
Yeah.
That's just that's not a good idea. And listen, if they really want to get involved in these kids' lives, I think that's day one type shit. Like, listen, if you're gonna race, okay, you're gonna need like all this.
Look,
All
we'll
this
build you a car.
right, all this underground money you're getting from the boosters, put it into an NSX. Or
Well,
something,
well, that's the thing, man. They don't even need the underground money anymore. I mean, I'm sure it's still there.
They're fucking monetized now.
I'm sure it's still there, like to some capacity, because it's not like like especially for like a freshman or even a sophomore, like unless you're literally lighting shit up out there on a daily basis, like you're the next Tim Tebow in college football. Like you're just not gonna have the NIL deals. I feel like so. I feel like there's probably some of that underground money is still there to some extent.
Right.
Excuse
I
me.
mean, nobody's gonna choose to live in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, without that extra kick coming from the boost.
Not just or like fucking Tulsa. Where the fuck is Fresno State? Who the fuck's going out there? Like,
That's in California.
that's right. But they're
Fresno is an extremely beautiful area. That's a bad example, Philbo. That's a chop.
I'm good at making bad. one strike, and I'm totally sober.
Chop.
Uh,
What's in the water bottle?
yeah. Well, there's so many podunk colleges out there, man. I mean that even in Division One, like Rutgers.
The
Who the fuck's gonna
Alabama
willingly go to New Jersey? That's a much better example.
Now that is a much chop rescinded.
Thank you. I got my man card back.
You got, yeah, okay. Your opinion is remotely valid.
I appreciate that. But yeah.
Yeah, New Jersey. Jesus Christ! If you live in New Jersey and you decide to stay there more than say the allotted time of your jail sentence, then, Jesus Christ, something's wrong with you. Like,
Yeah.
the New Jersey is just perfect. Have you tried Alabama? Because you might like that too.
Have you tried Tuscaloosa, Alabama? But yeah, where the fuck is Ole Miss and Mississippi State at? Because nowhere in Mississippi is nice. I'm sorry.
Right.
I think that actually
Arkansas.
Oh my god. Okay, that's a much better point. The only thing in Arkansas is the Walmart headquarters, and even that is like not even that great. That shit is fucked up.
Actually, I had a really good conversation with a couple people the other day, and it was about in the South people move around. Like obviously I'm from the area. I lived in Savannah for about 6 or 7 years, and then
Right.
came back. But there's a lot of transplanting in between select states. But there's a couple of states that you never like. You're just never in a mixer event, bar conversation type situation where you're meeting random people that don't necessarily have to be from there. Nobody ever says, "Yeah, I'm from Arkansas."
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
You just don't meet people in Charlotte from Arkansas. It just doesn't have. They stay where the fuck they're from, and there's a
Yeah.
reason for that. Like, I don't know if they're like if they're being restrained within their borders, or if there's something I don't know about within the United States border laws. But I don't know if we let these people travel freely, to be honest. And I'll also throw this one out there. They do have major airports, Philbo, but I've never had a I've never had a layover in
That's a
Arkansas.
that's a good
So
point. That's a good point. I've never had a connecting flight, where it's like, yeah, you're staying at, bumfuck Arkansas International Airport, Little Rock,
yeah,
wherever the fuck.
like I'm going to Miami. I'm trying to go the cheap route, the 2 hour route. I've never like been held over in fucking Birmingham. Like
Yeah.
and also now I am one of the few survivors that's actually been to both of these places we're talking about, and I've been to
Yeah.
Mississippi too.
Yeah.
So I've been there. I survived it. I came back. But the craziest thing is it works both ways. Like you go out in social settings and you don't meet people from North Carolina or Georgia or Tennessee. They're just from Alabama or they're just from Mississippi or they're just from Arkansas. They're like, oh no
Yeah.
shit, I was born down the road. My cousin lived
Yeah.
right there. And then oh, my grandparents, they opened that gas station down there. It's been the family ever since 1932. And and literally you can trace their entire lineage to like a 10-mile square
Yeah,
radius.
that's a good point, dude. That's like a real thing that happens. I feel like if you haven't lived in the South, you don't understand that. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, even like I've lived in Atlanta my whole life. It's a major city. It's like the eighth or like 10th largest city in the U.S. Like, it's a fucking big city. And even then, I mean, just you go like, I don't know, 10 miles outside of Atlanta, and there's all kinds of people like that where, yeah, they've lived their whole lives. They grew up there, right down the street. It really is a phenomenon. And I guess, like, I mean, but if you go back, what, like 80 years, that was every single town in the U.S., with the exception of
right.
like people who had just moved out to, like, the Dust Bowl or whatever. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and yeah, I mean when you look back a few generations ago, yeah, you're right. Like you were born in the town, you live in the town, you work in the town, you're a part of the community, you die in the town, and then
Right.
your kids live in the town. And if you're a traveling salesman that goes 2 towns over, you're a playboy. Like people look at you like, oh shit, what do you do for a living?
Yeah, you got
What's
the
that?
secret
What's
families.
yeah?
And
What's
shit.
what's that piece of metal connecting your tie to your dress shirt? I've never seen that before.
Yeah, for real.
Are those buttons on your dress shirt metal? I've never seen that before. What are those called? No, and like you said, Atlanta's a huge metropolitan area, but at the same time, the rule stands though. Like I
Yeah.
guarantee you, you can go out to 10 different bars tonight. You can spend the rest of a Saturday evening mingling and literally making it a point to meet people and ask where they're from. I guarantee you, you I you wouldn't run into more than out of 1,000. You wouldn't run into more than one or two people from Arkansas or Mississippi.
Dude, I don't even know. I feel like that sample size isn't large enough. Like,
Right.
especially like, I mean,
Well, it's within your physical limitations. You are a hobbit. Now, a king and a hobbit, so you are a hobbit. So
yeah, I'm a hobbit and a
you,
hermit. That's the other problem, is I would have to go outside.
that's what I'm saying.
That's
You
the
have to
other.
talk to people.
Yeah, that would be the other major limiting factor here. But yeah, I mean, it's great. Yeah, you're 100% right. You know what's also weird too is I feel like as big of a place and as populous as Texas is, you also don't see a lot of people that move out of Texas, and maybe that's because Texas is kind of like a cult. So, like, I don't know, maybe that's got something to do with it. But and I
Yeah,
have run
Texas.
across them.
I mean, Texas is like the Tarantino's Kill Bill volumes 1 and 2 of states. Like either you get it
What?
or you don't.
Okay, all right,
It
okay.
doesn't matter if you're a fan of America. It doesn't matter if you're a fan of our culture or this or that or you even like Texas. It's just one of those things. You either get it or you don't.
Right, no, 100%.
And and I don't get it. I'll tell you that. I think they're all a bunch of fucking assholes. Um, but then you have the Austin phenomenon now, where all the California
Yeah,
people are moving to, and
yeah,
it's a
new Los
completely
Angeles.
liberal area, and yeah, it's New Los. And oh, and you know what's crazy when you take those type of people and you transplant them, and there's still a very large concentration of the population. There's a weird thing that happens when you do that. The homeless population follows you, because apparently Austin has like the third highest homeless population
Really?
in the nation, and number one is LA. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like Tom Segura on the podcast talks about drowning them all the time. he's gonna he's gonna put up signs for like free bologna sandwiches and Gatorade, and it's right next to the pond in his backyard. He's gonna take turns like baptism style, drowning him in the pond.
Okay. Well, that's okay. That's fucking weird. Why is it just because big city, so there's gonna be homeless people? Like I don't fully understand that.
Austin's not that big of a city population wise. I mean, it's a growing
Pull
city,
it
but
up.
it hasn't even. Yeah, pull it up. But I'd be willing to say it hasn't caught up to like the small metropolitans like Charlotte.
Let me close some of these fucking tabs first. All right, hold up. Population. Let's go to.
No, I mean, and it's that type of it's the demographic and it's how they see things and homeless people know, like I mean, if you do that in El Paso, Texas, they're gonna shoot you. Like if you're on the way between the Baptist church and fucking Bojangles on a Sunday, look, don't ask me for money, because the Remington's coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's coming off the rack. It's coming off the rack in the Silverado, and we're not gonna talk anymore. We're going to get the Bojangles. Which I don't even think Bojangles is a thing in Texas, by the way. I don't know. That bad example. I get a shot.
Yo, this is weird. So with a well, that's the inside the city. So the metro area is it's basically 2.3 million people. And it's actually
That's pretty large.
it is. It's also weird that it's considered the 11th largest city in the U.S. with only 2.2. But I don't think that's not counting the metro area, because I think there's some, like, if you don't count the metro area in Atlanta, Atlanta's like the 30th largest city in America, but there's like 6 million people in the metro. So
Yeah. Well, either way, I mean, they obviously it's large populations. You're gonna have a larger homeless population.
Yeah.
But I think
But with
the level of the level of how they're treated depends on how militant they are.
But it's also, to your point, if it's got the third largest homeless population and it's got, I don't know, a 30th of the population of LA, like,
Right.
I don't fucking know. What is the population? Okay, now the podcast has evolved into me Google searching populations of cities in the U.S.
Yes. Yes.
18.5 million. So that you're literally looking. That's a ninth of the population of LA, and it's got the
Like,
third
that's all
largest.
I wanted to hear was, look, tick, enhance,
Yeah.
enhance, enhance. All right. So anyway, yeah, I don't even know how do we stem off of that. Oh yeah, because I was making fun of Alabama,
Which is, I mean, that's just low hanging fruit.
yeah, look,
It's not hard to
that
do.
will be a recurring theme. So if you're wanting to buy a T-shirt,
Fuck Alabama. That's
once we start the merch up, you're gonna want to go with one of the fuck Alabama T-shirts, because it will be a recurring theme.
Mic on.
100%.
You will be given awards and points in the comments if you do say negative things about Alabama. So let's keep that shit rolling. Roll Tide, baby.
Well, tying that back into the football bill, like, just the fact that they have just been officially unseated as a dynasty is and replaced by the glorious University of Georgia. I mean, that's crazy, man. Like, I how many fucking years do we have to suffer? They won like 6 national championships in like 10, 11 years. It was just ridiculous. And now we don't have to deal with that cousin fucking bullshit anymore.
Fuck them. And
Fuck that.
more to that point. No, Nick Saban, hell of a coach, even better recruiter.
Yeah.
He fucked around and taught too many really good coaches under him all of his secrets.
Yeah.
You know, you always got to hold one piece back, man. And that's day one coaching shit. Like, you never teach your apprentice everything you know, or else you're obsolete. So there were some really good ones, but Kirby Smart, he was paying attention in the back and writing on a legal pad while Nick Saban was talking. And when it comes down to it, I think the energy and his actual approach to like game time situations is just different enough. And I think his approach to his schemes and everything, and well, I'm not even going to talk about the offensive coordinator because I'm really mad about it right now. But the way he actually he keeps his flavor and his brand on his team while allowing his assistant coaches to do what they need to do.
Yeah.
Like I don't think any of those guys that work like Todd Monken, I don't think he'll ever be a Kirby Smart because I don't think Kirby Smart gave him the keys to the castle. Like Nick Saban, I think he gave all those guys fucking Muschamp, fucking
I don't.
Kirby Smart, et cetera, et cetera.
I don't
But
know
I
if I
think
agree with
I'm not
that.
but I'm not saying he gave them like I'm not saying they're all that level of coach. I'm saying I think he pulled the curtain back too far with all of them. He showed them too many secrets, not
Yeah.
thinking that they would end up on a rival
Mic
team,
off.
10 years later and
Mic
beating the
on.
shit out of them every year.
Yeah, and I totally get that point. But I also just like knowing how big of a piece of shit Nick Saban is. Like part of me, it's hard for me to believe that. I mean, he wasn't like he wasn't like holding classes. Like he wasn't like holding their hand through the process. Maybe it's just more to the point that Smart and whoever else. I'm blanking right now, but just whoever. There's been a couple of who else. I know the Texas A&M, or yeah, Texas A&M, and who was the other coach that beat them
And
last year?
uh, Will Muschamp was one of them,
Muschamp. There's somebody
and then
else, but I don't remember.
I'd have to look it up. I'm drawing a blank for
Yeah,
some reason right now because there's some pretty prevalent guys out there that came up under his tutelage, and then they're all head coaches and fairly successful now too. So
but I mean, just to that point, like I don't. I feel like it's yeah, it's more of the legal pad situation, like where they're just writing every time Nick Saban coughs, they mark the fucking time down. Because
yeah.
I feel like he's not walking around giving that shit out for free. It comes more out of being observant, and good coaches in
But
their own
also,
right.
so now this actually just occurred to me,
Mic
and you
off.
know what? It seems that the secret to being an
Mic on.
extremely successful college head football coach is
What's that?
a shit man haircut.
Yeah, having the worst fucking like dog shit take from your barber in the world is a
Right.
must.
Yeah. Like if somebody sees you out for lunch with your wife at Applebee's and they have to be like, is he retarded?
No,
Like,
no, better than that. Better than that. If somebody sees you out with at lunch with your wife at Applebee's, you have to question: is that just some like random fat guy, or is that Kirby Smart? Like, because his face fucking blends in the crowd, dude. I'm telling you,
yeah.
he looks like.
Is she well, yeah, but then you throw the haircut in there. You're
Well, I was
like,
gonna say besides,
is she taking care of him? Does she have to hold his wiener in the bathroom?
besides,
What's the
besides looking like a like a ninth century Cistercian monk, yeah, he totally blends into a crowd.
right, right. Like when he stands in front of a urinal, does he drop trout all the way to the ankles? Because that's what that haircut tells me.
Yeah, there's just something sus about that, dude. I don't know. To drop that Gen Z term in there, but yeah, I don't know, dude. but I think back to the bigger point, like yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine Nick Saban, giving away all the secrets. I think it's more of a testament to Muschamp and Kirby just being phenomenal coaches.
Yeah. I mean, there's an element of that too, and yeah, I don't think he was holding I don't think he was holding workshops at the Holiday Inn Airport, down by Tuscaloosa on Fridays. Like I don't think he was doing that for him, but I think his level of assertion of his schemes is a little less than Kirby's. I feel like he had a lot more dynamic people under him, where Kirby will take maybe a less experienced or more homegrown assistant coach and like flow through them instead of having these super dynamic outside hires that have been successful other places and having them put their own shit in place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Because I think Kirby Smart, the big difference is his schemes. Like, okay, it's been a theme since football was a thing. Defense wins championships, and god damn it if he doesn't know how to build a fucking defense. Just year after year, like we lose 9 starters in the offseason and everybody's questioning, and we just come out and smack Oregon in
Yeah,
the fucking mouth 49-3. Like,
yeah,
supposed to, I mean, they were ranked what, number 3 in the nation when we played them, and then they
yeah,
just got blanked,
yeah. It was
and everybody's like,
ridiculous.
oh, okay, we're back. We're back. We're good.
Yeah.
We're gonna be all right. High fives. High fives.
Besides literally falling asleep during the Missouri game, yeah, I mean we pretty much spanked everybody we played, and that was not. Look, I didn't expect that, and it wasn't necessarily because of we didn't have all the same talent that we did last year. It's just more to the point that it's difficult me it's difficult for me to adjust. Being it's like being in an abusive relationship. Being a Braves fan, being a Georgia fan, you're just not used to it.
Right.
You
Right.
start to doubt reality. So,
Yeah.
but it worked
Well,
out.
I'm saying. I mean, when we played, when we played in that semifinal game, when we played, what you call it, Ohio State. Um, I it was a completely different feeling for me. Like knowing that we won the last year, but knowing that like in clutch moments that Kirby Smart just has a different thing. Like Mark Richt loses that games 99 out of 100
Oh,
times.
more like 100 out of 100 times.
Yeah, maybe
Because he
101
never won
out of
that
100
game.
times. Yeah, he never. That's his claim. He can get you there. He can get the girl drunk enough to come home with him. He
Right.
just can never sneak it in. He can get the panties down. He can get the dick hard. He can just never.
No.
He can never get the tip in. Like,
Exactly.
and
What an
it makes
analogy,
me,
by
it
the
makes
way.
me so mad. It makes me so fucking angry to think about like all the talented offense, not even the defense. I'm not even gonna go there because, dude, I could spin my wheels all day long. Georgia's always had phenomenal defense, but some of the gnarliest offenses that just fell by the wayside, with a fucking like 8-4 record under Mark Richt. Like
Oh my God.
I think
The
you were one
staple
of the
record.
people, but like a couple seasons ago when Mark Richt was, like 9-1 in Miami and doing whatever, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, no, I fucking hate Mark Richt."
Yeah.
You can send him my phone number too. I fucking hate that guy. He get like, dude, how the fuck do you have Matt Stafford and AJ Green on the same side
Yeah.
of the ball and not score 100 fucking touchdowns?
That's a good fucking point too. Yeah, I don't necessarily hate Mark Richt because where he brought the program back to when he first started coaching, like he brought it back up to a contending level. Because we were basically
I'm not
like,
taking it back. I hate him.
no, I think he's not a good coach. I think it's pretty fucking obvious. I don't have anything. I don't hate him because I don't know him, but yeah.
I know.
And yeah, he's a piece of
Me and
shit.
Ronnie-
He's from Alabama.
Man, me and Ronnie were out having lunch with him the other day. And, Ronnie hates him too. Ronnie was like, "Dude, I fucking hate Mark Richt." That's what he said to me.
Yeah, well, Ronnie's always
He
been
said,
vocal about his.
Can we? Yeah, Ronnie said, "Can we go baseball now?" He's like, "I don't like football. Can we go baseball?"
Baseball and hamburgers, Josh. Baseball and hamburgers. That's all I fucking want.
Okay. That's all he does, man. He fucking, and it's those weird frozen hamburgers you get at Walmart.
The bun comes over the burger.
Yes. You heat it all up together.
What is that's scary to me, dude. Like, why would you do that?
Put on 20 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
Those fucking things.
I've maybe eaten like 2 of those in my entire life, and they're not like the worst thing I've ever eaten. Don't get me wrong, but like, what the fuck is like? How hard is it to separately buy the ingredients for that? It's not like you're saving yourself any time. Like, you can make a fucking hamburger on the stove in like, I don't know, 5 minutes. I don't know what the fuck the point of that is.
Mean, it's not a hard concept. Americans do it every day, but it's one of those things where like you said, it's not the worst thing I've ever eaten. It's not like gonna make me vomit or anything. I've definitely eaten a few of them in my time when I'm back's against the wall and it's that or eating the baking soda out of the refrigerator, like because somebody accidentally bought that and thought it was a good idea, like the roommate bought that on accident.
The baking soda or
the? No, the baking soda is for the smell. The 4-pack of frozen hamburgers, bun included. That's the fucking mistake. And
God, that shit
anytime you can dress it up
ridiculous.
however you want, you can go classic with a little mayo and ketchup, a little cheese. Most of them do include cheese, but
that's true.
You get it slathered up, you get wild, you put a little A1 on it, whatever you want. Every bite, you're like, it feels like I'm doing something wrong. Like that, it looks like a burger. It kind of smells like a burger.
Right.
Ketchup on it like a burger, but this is not a burger.
Right. It's kind of like, did you ever get those? I know you for a fact you know what I'm talking about. Like the concession stand hot dogs and burgers from like the shitty like baseball park, like when you're like 10 years old. Like,
of course.
It tastes. It actually. I don't even know if it tastes as good as that. And maybe that's just nostalgic because I always liked that shit when I was like 10 and didn't know what quality was.
To me, that, yeah, that because I know the one you're talking about, like and it's not like you're not going to an MLB game. You're not going to catch one of those at a Braves game. You're like a
Right.
little municipal place where Little League plays, and it's just a
Right.
little
Exactly.
concession stand. And they bought the Sam's Club 100 pack for
Yeah.
$20.
Yeah.
And that's nostalgic for me too, because I mean, shit, my parents sucked, and usually they would just drop me off anyway. They dropped me off with my bat bag and like $10 in my pocket, so I'm on my own for 8 hours. And
Right.
the fucking Capri Suns and orange slices run out after game 2, so
Right.
you got to hit that up. But it's when I think about that, like those burgers, they're not good. Like the quality's not
No,
great.
they're not.
I would eat one in a fucking second
Yeah.
now, just because it would take me back to that time and place where I'm like, all right, boys, we're down 1. We won the first one. We gotta win this next one. And I'm fucking chewing a goddamn shitty ass burger. I'm like, all right, boys, like you suck at
Spitting
that
it out.
there, Dave. You've been caught stealing 3 fucking times. Maybe you ate too many goddamn cheeseburgers. You need to calm down.
Yeah.
But no, it's nostalgia. It was like being at the fucking ballpark. It was a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's not the taste that I crave on those, but
No.
those are still on a fresh bun. The bun is not included when you buy the.
That's true. Yeah, no, and that's a good. But I don't know what it is. It's like, and maybe it's because they put it into like a steamer or something, or like But it kind of like the bread kind of starts to stick to the patty a little bit. Do you know what I'm talking about? But it's just like I know it's not like as an adult now. Like I had this conversation with some friends last night. Like we bought, I think collectively we probably made like somewhere like a salary. We probably made close to $750,000, and we fucking bought Tombstone Pizza. And I was like, why the fuck are we buying this? Like, we can like. There's much better pizza in the same freezer for like $3 more. Like,
DiGiorno comes with wings. We're a DiGiorno family now.
not even. No, I'm talking like even beyond DiGiorno. Like it's open, it's unlocked. Money unlocks so many different options for you.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like once I hit a certain watermark in salary, like I just charge it to the game now. Like I
exactly
get what I want at the fucking grocery store. But then I look at it when I come home, and like it's just all sitting on the counter ready to be put up. Like after you get it, that moment where you get everything out of the bags and nothing's up yet.
Exactly.
Now, like I look around, I'm like, am I a fucking child? Like, I look at Monica and I'm like, all right, you're in your 40s, I'm in my 30s, and we just bought the food that 13-year-olds.
That I'll never living with Annie. I'll never have that problem. She only eats fucking fresh vegetables all the time, so.
But see, that's the thing. I don't mind. Like, I like vegetables. Like, I like vegetables. I like fresh meats. I love grilling. I love when Monica cooks something up. Like, just puts, it doesn't have to be crazy, because vegetables are fucking amazing. And if you don't like vegetables, you can go fuck yourself. But
it's not that I don't like vegetables. I'm just like, they're not my first choice. You know what I mean?
Right, but, people get bogged down on the vegetable thing, especially, dude, in the South, like, this Southern cooking is fucking stupid. Like, everything's got to be either broccoli or carrots. I'm like, dude, there's so many vegetables.
Well, collard greens too.
Well, and greens, and Monica makes the cornbread with beans and greens, and like it's a lot of canned stuff. So like when you do
what's up with
like
that?
a green bean, it's a canned green bean. I'm like,
what's up? Yeah, I don't understand that concept too. It's like we won the war, right? Like Germany is reunited in 2 countries now. Like to 1 country. Like we don't have to fucking eat the canned food, but my dad loves canned vegetables, and I'm like, why, dude? Why? It's just
like, she insists on having a pantry stocked at all times of all these like succotash, fucking pinto beans, lima beans, kidney beans, navy beans. I'm like,
I forgot how many beans there were. You just let me know.
Dude, there's so many. Green beans. I could do a Forrest Gump fucking show for you here.
For real.
As a matter of fact, I'll live stream from my phone next time. We'll look inside Josh's kitchen.
We'll explore.
But no, and I'm like, have you ever had a fresh green bean, Monica? Like, why are we eating canned green beans?
It doesn't subtly taste of aluminum.
Pre-salted and but then no sodium added. How does that happen? I don't know. It's from the tin.
Yeah.
The more dense, the better. That's the flavor comes from the dented cans.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something to that, dude. And it's funny because although obviously like canned food is not like God's gift to mankind. However, the exception is baked beans because I don't know what it is, but baked beans out of a can are fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of Bush's. I
Yeah,
like their flavor assortment.
can't go wrong.
But no, we decided. Speaking of vegetables, we decided that we're gonna be pickling different vegetables and making jams and stuff now. So
Okay.
I
You
don't
got
I
a
don't know
farm
I don't
stand
know if
down
you
the
ever
road?
pickled stuff at home. No, we'll be buying those from the market.
No, but you'll be selling them. At the
We might. I don't know. It depends. Like when the podcast takes off,
Mic
we'll just
off.
use this as a as an
Oh, there you go.
advertisement for Shark and Thundercats canned goods.
Oh my god, I forgot that was your little nicknames. I'm gonna let the audience figure out which one's the shark and which one's the thundercat.
Hmm. Shit. But anyway, we got off on a little food tangent there.
Best kind of tangent. Yeah, well, the point, and I think the story that I was telling is, or I forget what we were talking. We were talking about the concession stand burgers, but the story that, like, yeah, I could pay for a better burger, a much better. Shit, Five Guys right down the street from where I live. Not like the greatest burger. People like shit on Five Guys, and I'm like, why? Five Guys is not bad. It's not the greatest thing ever made, but it's fucking better than McDonald's. And the fries are fucking phenomenal. I don't care who you are. If you don't like Five Guys fries, like you're dead to me. You don't exist. Like that. So it's like I could go buy a better burger, but the point I was trying to get to, I don't know if I would like the taste, but it would just be like I would want to eat it, and I would eat the whole fucking thing, and I'd be so happy with it. Like it's just weird, man. I don't get that.
Yeah, I mean, so if we're on Five Guys, I like Five Guys. I don't shit on Five Guys. It is a little expensive.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Burger,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good quality, but you know, dude, like if you get the small cheeseburger, a fry, and a milkshake, you're at like $16.
Yeah.
But now, one thing I will say, I will shit on Five Guys a little bit, because
Dangerous waters.
I love a good hot dog. I'll tell you that. But anytime I eat a hot dog at Five Guys, I feel like I'm not an American. Like, what type of sociopath thought, hey, let's cut them in half, grill them, and then fucking put them sideways on the bun? That's not how you eat a hot dog. Look,
But I've never had one from there.
the buns are okay. So basically, what they do is they take a big hot dog and they cut it in half and grill it, right? So you got a flat side.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Flat side down, and then basically they sit it on the bun. It's a hot dog sandwich. And look, we fixed that problem a long time ago. The hot dog buns come with little slits in them, so you just slide the wiener right in. Like they're fixing problems that didn't need solved.
So they put it. So hold on a second. So it's kind of like more like a sub.
Yeah, it's
Okay, because I see the way they're being presented here in these photos. Like just for instance, yeah, that's kind of weird. Why wouldn't you just let it?
Very un-American. It's like
A hot dog is a taco, not a sub.
Yeah, that's how I imagine Jeffrey Dahmer ate hot dogs.
Well, he was American.
Oh, he was very American. We're erecting a statue of him right now.
Yeah, okay, that's a little fucking weird. I think it would be cooler if they split it like that, right? And then I don't know, like I'll do my little demonstration for you, right? So they split it down the middle. So it's sitting in the bun like this, and the bun is warmly embracing it, just like this, right? And then you could fill up the inside of the split with like I don't know, fucking let's just say some bit like relish and like bacon, I don't know, just something like that. Hot dog toppings. Thanks for breaking that down for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that would make sense. I think that would be good.
Anybody hearing this was like, oh, dude, catch up.
And I'm like blanking. I'm like, wait, what do kids put on their hot dogs these days?
Artichokes and
canned green beans,
tuna fish. And,
yeah, some kimchi.
So, in that same vein, I will say I'm a bit of a hypocrite when it comes to that because one of my favorite local establishments, Black's Barbecue, they also have a sister restaurant, RO's Barbecue. They make something similar, and it's called a cheese dog. But it just feels different. So basically, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on a
You also
second.
have
Hold
this.
on. Before we go into this, when you make a hot dog at home, I don't know why I just thought of this. Do you put the cheese on top or underneath?
I don't put cheese on my hot dogs.
Okay, bad take. Keep going.
So, yeah, I don't really like cheese on my hot dogs except for this. This is
Okay.
that's why I bring it up because
Okay,
it's
go
such an
for it.
anomaly. So you get two large hot dog buns, flatten them out, and toast both sides, right?
Okay.
And then you get two jumbo hot dogs, cut them in half, Five Guys style, and then you put cheese on both sides of the buns, and then melt the cheese on there. Then you put another slice of cheese on top of the hot dog, melt that on. So it's just cheese fucking everywhere. There's a thin
I
layer
like
of
it.
mayo on one side of the bun, and then they put their barbecue slaw on it, which is it's like a red slaw, but it's kind of like a sweet barbecue tasting slaw, not a vinegary slaw.
Gotcha.
It's more of like a like you can eat it with chips, like a dip kind of thing.
Right.
Um, and that's it. But it's like super cheesy, and their hot dogs have that super like that great beef like salty flavor that cuts through all that cheese and
Mm,
dairy,
yeah.
and then you have that little twang that comes from the barbecue slaw. It's a fucking amazing sandwich, man.
That sounds
Like
pretty good.
they do so much to it. I don't consider it heresy because it's no longer a hot dog; it's now a sandwich.
Okay, interesting. All right, that does sound good. By the way, the correct answer to the question I asked you is, if it's like you're going Kraft single style, you put that underneath, and if you're going shredded cheese, which is the superior cheese for a hot dog, you put it on top. So
Oh, you mean the processed American Kraft single? That's not the that's not gourmet cheese.
yeah, somehow. Well, I mean, you could put it like a Sargento if you want to get classy, you know. But I, I feel like they don't have
The
branding.
difference is Sargento is actually a real cheese.
But I feel like,
Like,
yeah, it is. But like, why do I feel like? Why is it that a Kraft single, like I couldn't describe a slice of cheddar cheese without saying like a Kraft. Like I feel like I could not do that. Like people would look at me like I'm fucking crazy. Like what do you mean a slice of cheddar cheese? You just get a cheddar block and you fucking slice it like a maniac. Like what are you doing? No. Like I to describe a single slice of cheese, you have to say the words Kraft single. Like why doesn't Sargento have, or like your Publix or Kroger or whatever,
well, they
cheese.
they do have their own brands, but it's still a Kraft single. That's like saying, like going to Walmart and buying the off-brand soda. Like you don't say, "Hey, give me a glass of cola." You're like, "No, can I have some Coke?" Like,
Sam's Cola.
yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, if it's RC Cola or Sam's Cola or whatever it is, like it's Coke, right? You don't
Yeah,
say,
hundred
"Can I have some
percent.
cola?
But that's
Cola,
a but
please."
that's a southern, because they'll just be like or whatever other region, and it's completely wrong. But they'll say pop, or I believe they do say cola. What is it on the West Coast or like in the North Midwest or something like that? Something
No, I
crazy
thought
like
they were
that.
West Coast now. They're pretty much just into like boba tea, I think.
Have you ever had that shit? It's disgusting. First of all, I had it
It
in New
looks
York.
disgusting.
I had it in New York when I went to visit Annie so many years ago. It's actually, so the tea itself is good, but the fucking tapioca fucking pudding balls are disgusting. Like it's just not. I don't want that shit in my tea, dude. If it's not
I mean,
Milo's, it's not for
tea's pretty
me.
good, especially fucking Milo's.
Do
Like,
you have it? I think you still have some pictures that you sent me on your phone. Of all of your refrigerator, of all the available storage space in your apartment or in that house you were renting at the time, just filled with fucking Milos.
dude, there was Milo's everywhere, and I had so much Milo's that it wouldn't even all fit in the the refrigeration
That was
space. It was like,
fantastic. I'd
I
still
think
love you for
I
that.
think half of it was in the garage.
In the what?
Uh, the garage.
Oh, okay. Is that what they call it when you're in there?
Yeah, that's where the homosexuals park their cars. Dun, 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 dun.
Um. Yeah.
Now back
That's.
to more tequila.
Oh yeah. You poured. How did you have your first glass? We're coming up at an hour and a half, so I feel like I feel like we're pretty much at a natural point right here. If we want to go ahead and end it, we had a pretty. We talked. I feel like we could just keep talking and talking, but at some point we gotta terminate it.
Well, we do. I'd say let's let it run for a little bit longer. Let's get a little bit more content, not sports related,
Or food
because I
related.
feel like yeah. Well, I mean, food's fine, but
Yeah.
we definitely we said it yesterday and we said it like 4 days ago. We're like, we don't want it to just be about sports. And then literally we talked for like
Right.
85 minutes
Well,
about
because
sports.
we have a lot to say, we have a lot to say about sports, and that's I feel like it's gonna be that way always. It's not this. That's not to say it's a sports podcast, but it'll be in there.
It's not a. It's definitely for our dedicated listeners. This is definitely
We're
not a
dedic-
sports
for
podcast.
all 0 of you.
Right. So, Phil, will you type something in the goddamn comments box? Feeling
Yeah.
alone here.
Here you go. Here, I got you. Hello, everyone. There you
Um,
go.
but yeah, so I guess
I'm not logged into Twitch
let's,
apparently.
let's talk about something else interesting. You're not logged in, so are we
About
even streaming this shit? What are we doing here? We're just fucking video chatting.
Well, we're definitely streaming it because the stream is up on our page, so I don't fucking know.
We're just video chatting. We've
Yep.
just been video chatting for the last hour and a half.
That's correct.
No, let's talk about something else real quick. Like, we can talk about video games. So, because I have a couple things to say about a video game. But I know you're a gamer. What games have you been working on here recently?
So, well, the biggest thing is for video game desk. Here we go. So the biggest thing that's caused a lot of stir lately is Sons of the Forest. So it's a survival horror game. I don't really like when people call it a horror game. To me, horror games are like
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill. I mean, you could even say Dead Space is a horror game, even though that still to me doesn't quite fit the description. But it's purpose built to
Like
be a horror game.
jump scares and
Yeah.
leads you into certain
Yeah. So, but anyway, so Sons of the Forest, it's the sequel to The Forest, which came out, I want to say, in like 2013 or 2014. Phenomenal game. Sons of the Forest, phenomenal game. But crazy thing, so I was actually one of the first people who was able to buy this game. And I not because I had some sort of special access, but because the Steam pages crashed when it was released.
Hang on, Philbo's tooting his horn. Watch this.
Here it comes. And not because, like I said, I didn't have any special access. I'm literally nobody. But um, the Steam pages crashed when the game was released because they didn't allow people to pre-order the game, and I think it broke pretty much. I believe it pretty much broke all the records for um when it within 24 hours most copies bought, stuff like that. I mean, and it's competing with titles like fucking Call of Duty and shit. So I mean, it's a pretty big deal.
And Hogwarts Legacy.
And Hogwarts Legacy, which I still haven't played, but which I think the coolest thing about that, well, I'll get to that. Sorry, I don't want to go off too much of a tangent. Anyway, Sons of the Forest is a great fucking game. I've already played the shit out of it, and there's a really buggy AI companion, Kelvin, and it's really funny because you need to go out. Like, I encourage you to go out, you Josh, after we're done with this, and just look at videos of him, because it's really funny. Like you like so it's like a survival game. So you like build your shelter or whatever. And if you tell him to go like collect logs, and if you build a tree house, he'll cut your tree house down. And you just have all these videos, and it's funny because he always gives like a thumbs up like this. So there's all these videos of him cutting down these elaborate tree houses, and he's just like like a little douchebag. But anyway, that's Sons of the Forest, and then Hogwarts Legacy. I haven't played it yet, but yeah, it's pretty. It's kind of like, you know what Dark Souls is, right? I'm sure you've heard of it if you haven't played it. It's from what I understand from watching people play it, it's literally Dark Souls except Harry Potter, which might be one of the most badass things I've ever like seen and heard of. Like it's actually pretty fucking cool.
So you have to be a sadist to play it.
No, it's not. It's not nearly as hard. And in fact, like Elden Ring, which was the other like the newest From Software game, the people that made all the Dark Souls game, was considered to be a much easier Dark Souls game. But I mean, but this is like it's rated E for everybody basically, even though it's not. But I'm saying, like, as far as Dark Souls games go, this would be like, the fucking tutorial.
Right.
So
Speaking of being a sadist, I've recently gotten back into XCOM, which I
Oh my
believe you're a
God.
fan of I believe you're a fan of the titles.
So I barely played XCOM, but I did play the other Civilization, other Sid Meier's games. But sorry, keep going about that.
So, XCOM, I really enjoyed XCOM, but I recently, rest in peace to my Xbox One. It's in the Gaston County landfill somewhere. So, I canceled all my subscriptions to that, so I got onto PlayStation Plus, and they have a giant library and got some really good games. And I ran across XCOM 2, and I was like, I didn't really give it its due. I played it a little bit, but I was really busy when I got it. And then, I don't really like to play games on easy or when it gets hard. I don't like to. I feel like I'm defeated, and like
You
my
saunter
character
home.
actually. Yeah, no, my character matches the food in my pantry. Like I'm 13 throwing a tantrum, and
Right.
like so I'm playing it on not the hardest setting, but the next one down, and it is an extremely difficult game. And because I mean, you know what it is. It's a turn-based battle, and it's really cool because you get to level your characters up as you go. So you recruit them, they come in as a rookie, and then depending on how they perform in the battlefield, they get promoted. So I think there's like 7 or 8 different promotion levels. You can get them all the way up to colonel, I think. And
Right.
with every promotion, they get new abilities. They can use different weapons, more turns, more health, that kind of thing. So what you want to do is, you focus on the easier missions at the beginning, and you level your stuff up. It also has kind of an idle game feel, like when you're in the ship, like you're building cells. You have like turn-based things that
Right.
you're opening up different opportunities, and like you're making your weapons workshop, and then you're making your medic tent and shit like that. But so here's the thing. So what you want to do is you want to get a solid because you can use at the beginning 4 characters at the same time. So you want to get a solid 4 that's leveled up to at least sergeant, right?
Okay.
And but in that they cannot battle if they're wounded. So if you end a mission and they're wounded, then they have to heal. So you can't use them on the next mission
Right.
unless you scan or like take big chunks of time out. And then you get into the harder missions where it's almost impossible not to lose somebody. And when they're dead, they're dead. Like
Right.
there's no coming back. There's no, you can heal them, med pack, shit like that. But so yesterday I almost broke my PlayStation 4 because because there's a mission. So I've got a pretty fucking good squad. I'm only about halfway through the campaign, but I really focused in on like a core 6. So I actually have like 2 lieutenants and like 4 sergeants, right?
All right.
So and I've really focused on keeping them healthy mission to mission. So if I do, I at least have 1 lieutenant in the field every mission, and I at least have 2 sergeants. Um, so then this fucking mission pops up. And apparently, if you don't do the right things and you don't like go the right places on the overworld map, there's this UFO that catches up to you and shoots your ship down, right?
Okay.
So, and this fucking thing, it shoots you down. It's like, okay, this could be the end of XCOM. We need all hands on deck. Like you're allowed to use, like you start out with like fucking 8 soldiers, right? When every other mission's 4. So I'm like, okay, here we go. So you get out, and literally they can't get onto the ramp of your ship, which they start like right next to it. And you start with your first 8. And here's how you know it's going to be hard. The guy's like, "This is such a big deal. You can use wounded warriors," and I'm like, "Oh fuck, here we go, bro." So anyway, the cutscenes hit, whatever, and then the gnarliest baddies of all time are just caked everywhere, and they're within striking distance on the first fucking turn.
Oh
I'm
my
like, oh,
god.
this is gonna be a goddamn shit show. And then fast forward like 45 minutes later, because I'm taking like 5 minutes per turn just analyzing what's
Right.
about to happen. And just because like I've got my big boys in there, and if they die, they're fucking dead. That's it.
Yeah.
And so then I spent all this time, 45 minutes, and then it basically that was just the first part of the mission. I've already lost a lieutenant and 2 sergeants. That's the first part of the mission. Now dropships start coming in, and reinforcements start coming in. I'm like, what? I repelled the attackers. Just take the fuck. You said you could take off. What are you doing? And then, so then, fast forward another hour later, um, and the only survivors I had was 1 corporal and 1 sergeant, and
Damn,
just
bro.
wiped because and it keeps adding. It adds all of your soldiers. So like, it started me with 8, but I had a total of like 16. So like every turn, it'll let one more person come out of the ship. So literally, both my dick and balls are on the table at this point. Like there's no protecting anybody. There's no
Oh my
leaving anybody
god.
on the ship for tomorrow. And then these giant mechanized motherfuckers are just shooting 3 grenades a turn, like just blowing up anything I can hide behind and killing my soldiers and shit. So and you have to think I'm probably like a good like 25 hours of gameplay into just this one campaign, and just to watch it all fall apart in one mission. And then that's not even the bad part. I'm like, okay, okay. As long as I beat this, so I got my sergeant. He's gonna be a lieutenant after this. We can rebuild. We're okay. And then I get on the fucking pad and beam up, and it's like, game over. The XCOM headquarters has been destroyed. I was
Oh
like,
my
what
god.
the fuck? And the whole thing was, if you beam up and there was an enemy on the ramp, then
He
then
fucking
he'd
follows
follow
you
you
home.
back,
Oh my
and he
god.
follows you home. But the thing is, this motherfucker hadn't moved. He hadn't shown up on any goddamn enemy activity. He was just hiding where you couldn't see him, like on the rotation of the angle that I had. You can't see him, and he's not attacking. He's not doing anything. He's just sitting on the fucking ramp,
Oh my
just behind a
god.
barrel. I was like, I just wasted 2 hours of my life, and I don't think I'm gonna play this game anymore. Like, I don't.
Yeah, from what I
Because the
understand,
only option it gives you is to restart the mission. I'm like, I'm not I'm not living that hell over again.
God, from what I understand, yeah, XCOM is extremely frustrating like that. So yeah, that's fucking insane. I can't believe maybe we should play it together one sometime. But
Oh god.
well, our other most recent video game was Chell.
Yeah.
That kind of fell apart pretty fucking quickly. I
I
just
mean,
don't
I thought it
understand.
would go down, and then once we decided to play it and bought the game, you just decided never to play it again. So
Well, look, I was having some scheduling issues just left and right, which ironically is basically as soon as your Xbox shit the bed, I'm my life's back to normal now. So, um, but yeah, that game was I don't know. I was also just severely disappointed by the fact like normally. And maybe it's like I'm just here's I mean let me just lay it on the table. I'm not as good at sports games as I am at like strategy games or whatever. Even like I feel like I'm even better at shooters, and I'm not like a pro gamer or whatever. Like I'm not like good at shit. But like it really drives me crazy when there's like some sort of, I mean we called it the cheese or whatever, some sort of exploit
yeah,
that like I don't know. It's not like game breaking because like you can still play the game technically, but like I don't know what like I don't know the right way to do it. Like if I don't know how to copy that, like if we can't be on an even playing field with that, like it drives me fucking crazy. Like I cannot handle like I can handle it, but it just fucking drove me crazy. The little like rinky dink fucking slide around and then somehow blows the goalie out of the fucking net. Like I just don't get that shit.
yeah. I mean, that's really, especially in NBA 2K is a big one too. In these create your own character modes, whenever a game comes out, like you have a few hundred, if not a few thousand people that literally for the first day and a half play it without taking a break. It's just Mountain Dew and Cheetos, and they're literally they try and find the optimal sliders for whatever builds it is, and then once that comes out, most of the time they create like the optimal builds, but sometimes they find the god mode shit that like 2K or NHL actually realizes, and 2 weeks later has to put out a fucking patch to stop you from
Right,
doing it.
right,
Like they have to nerf it because the game's not even fun anymore. Like in NBA, you literally like you got one guy that just somehow like from just he's already picked up his dribble and he's standing like 12 feet away from the goal, but does a hop step and dunks over people. It's
yeah,
like, yeah, that's not a thing. But yeah, it's always going to be a thing, unfortunately. Because for me, those modes can be super fun because
yeah,
you make whatever character you want and like whatever build you want, and there's different game styles, and you can actually play within the confines of hockey or basketball, and actually play the game the way it's supposed to be played, and it can be
right,
fun for everybody. I don't understand. It's kind of like I play Diablo a lot, and it's kind of like the people that hack that. And I'm like, Diablo is one of those grindy ass fucking games that like that what you get out of it is the satisfaction of getting the same piece of gear you've already gotten 20,000 times, but now it's the right version and it has the right rolls on it. It's like a 1 in 20 billion chance on
right,
fucking yeah, just it's the satisfaction of getting something like that that's going to make you like 0.001% more effective because you're
right.
already in game and just trying to shave seconds off your levels. And then you have somebody that literally just goes in, hacks the game, and puts in all this modded gear, and they beat your best time by 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, so what did you get out of that? Because like, you're not playing the game.
Right.
You fix the game for yourself, and now all you have to do is just press three buttons and everything dies.
Right.
The same thing with like God mode characters. It's like, yeah, I get it. Sports games are a little different because you can actually get the satisfaction of somebody rage quitting, or God help you get somebody on the microphone, you can talk shit while you're actually fucking, while you're skirting them.
Yeah.
But you know, then there's that argument. It's like, oh yeah, so which YouTuber did you see that one on? Like, who told
Mm,
you how to make that build? Because you didn't do that, and that's
right.
it's not even a real style of hockey. So, yeah, it's frustrating for people that actually want to play the game like us.
Right.
But I guess my question is, if you're over the age of 9, what are you getting out of that?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's the whole. I think I could trace that back to like, I think it was like GTA 4, like the first game. I think I had done cheat. Well, I did cheat codes in fucking like the original Battlefront 2 game, but GTA 4. I like pulled out some cheat codes and I was like, oh cool, I'll just give myself, I don't know, a fucking rocket and a jet, and like that's fun to like fuck around because GTA is just fun to fuck
Right.
around in, right? But also it was like I was playing the story and I'm like, well, what's the point of I had that epiphany where I was like, well, this isn't fun. If I can just fucking cheat my way to the end, I'm not having fun. So I don't know. Like I feel like
Right.
everybody has to hit that on their own at some point, but I guess some people just never have that. Like if I feel like if you have an IQ above 90, like you're gonna hit that experience at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you hit gaming maturity at different ages.
Yeah.
I definitely know 40-year-old people that haven't even come close yet. But it's that thing exactly. Like, I guess you get what you get out of it. Like, I can't sit here and be a miser on it. Like, you're
Right.
not playing the game right. Like, well, I
Right.
guess if you're having fun, then you're playing the game right.
Yeah.
You've achieved the purpose of the
Well,
game.
and to
Um,
be fair, what we're specifically talking about, it's not a hack. Like it's just an exploit. Like it's something that like they just never coded around properly in the game, and they're not like
right.
doing anything. They're not. It's not a glitch. They're just fucking sitting there and turning around at 5 miles an hour, and then shooting it into the net,
Right.
and somehow
Yeah.
that's the greatest move of all time.
Right. So yeah, you're right. They're not glitching, and it's allowed within the confines of the game.
Right.
But I think what people like us, players like us, why we have a problem with that is because it doesn't exist within the confines of real hockey.
Right. Exactly.
And
It's not something that is real.
right. But and EA Sports they boast, if it's in the game, it's in the game. But also if it's in this game, it probably can't happen in that fucking game because I've never seen. Look, and what frustrates me is, especially since I've picked hockey back up, actually watching games
Yeah.
live, they do some fucking sick shit.
They do.
You want to talk about dirty dangles, bro? Just watch Connor McDavid for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That guy, he'll get it in fucking in the neutral zone, and he'll be on your goalie in half a second. Is what it feels like. Like he just turns into a red streak. You just see a fucking Oilers jersey just blur towards the goalie,
Yeah.
and then like you don't even see what he did. Like when I sent you that clip the other day, about when he banked it off the back of the
Yeah.
goalie's head,
Yeah.
and
That
I'm
shit
like,
was nuts.
he did it so fast, and like not only his stick speed is so fast, but his movement and deke speed is so fast. You can't see that shit in real time. Like I was like, what the fuck how did he just do that? Because he was behind the goal. I was like, how the fuck did that just go in? Like all I saw was this little fucking black jersey or a black sweater like blur to the left, and then you see the red light go off, and then they slowed it down for me because apparently I'm an old man that can't keep up. They showed it, and this guy dekes 4 fucking times, and he's going breakneck speed,
Yeah.
and then just turns and immediately just a little flick of the wrist, just like the most
Yeah.
precise shot you've ever seen, hits the goalie in the
Yeah.
back of the head
The window
from
the window
behind the
was like
fucking goal.
literally, I think it was about the size of my head, that fucking window that
Yeah,
he had. And at an
yeah,
angle, so it's more like this. It's not
yeah.
like
If
it's
that,
not
because
even.
he had to, because in that little area was not only the goalie's shoulder and the side of the crease, but also his stick was there too. So it was even
Right.
smaller than that.
Right.
Like it was a surgical shot. But that's every day for a guy like Connor McDavid. Like that guy, I don't know if you've seen his stats this season, but that fucking guy, dude, I think he's gonna break records. Like he's you look at everybody else like like the number 2 in goals in the league has like 38 goals, and Connor McDavid's got like 51 goals, like
Yeah.
61 assists. It's
Yeah.
fucking insane, dude.
Yeah.
It's like it's a nightly thing for him.
Is he the
But then
points leader
you
right
go,
now?
oh yeah, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
Um, But and then you have other studs. They just they pass the puck a little. Well, I say that, but he does have 60. He leads the league in assists too. So
Right.
I think he's the first one to do that in a very long time, lead in goals and assists.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking insane.
Um, but he also, God, what's the name of the guy that plays? So they do this crazy thing where Connor McDavid, obviously he plays on line one, and they have the guy named Draisaitl. His last name is Draisaitl. He plays on line two. And then basically Draisaitl will come in for one of Connor McDavid's wings a little earlier than the change, and then McDavid will stay on to line two as well. So I think they come they combine for more goals than any other two players in the league, and it's not even close. Like I think they combine for something retarded like 85 goals, and the next one is like Malkin and Crosby with like 52. Like
Damn.
it's not even close.
That's
They're
fucking
just,
ridiculous.
yeah, no, and they just fly everywhere.
Yeah.
But even with an offense like that, dude, their defense is abysmal. Like
Yeah.
they also give up. The Oilers give up more goals than I think they're ranked like 28th in the league in goals per game.
Jesus Christ.
Them. But they're number one at scoring. So
I guess it's like, yeah, the best defense is a good offense,
well,
I mean,
we can argue about that.
I'm saying in this case, it's not in every case for damn sure. But if you're the points, if you're the league leader in points, then I mean, yeah, the answer is yes. It's definitely not in every situation.
So I was, I've been watching the Canes a lot lately, and the Canes lead the league in one-time attempts and one-time goals, which that's Josh and Phillip hockey all day long.
Hell yeah. That's how you do it.
They stack their defense. The reason why, they get more opportunities because they have really good defensemen, but their defensemen are always back on the block. They're always on the fucking back check, and they're protecting the blue line. Right. So whereas they do more of the more structured old school like hold a possession hockey where you literally go forecheck to the point back, and you have somebody protecting the blue lines or two people protecting the blue line, and they just pile shots on you.
Right.
But they always have the guys set off like once they give you the lane, Jordan Stahl is always going to be on the backside of the goalie ready to flick it in for you.
Right. Exactly.
Like they just know their positioning, whereas like Connor McDavid and Draisaitl, they'll just like literally they're skating so hard they break their neck on the fucking on the boards after they shoot. It's a lot. It's interesting to watch because you don't really think about it, but there's a lot of different styles of hockey that are still being played.
Yeah.
Whereas, oh God, who was it? I watched it the other day. The most prevalent power play in NHL history. It's it's the Oilers. It's Connor McDavid and Draisaitl are on the same line on the power play, and I think this season it's something absolutely insane. They're like 48% success on the power play.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's basically so 1 out of every 2 penalties you're gonna score. Like that's fucking insane.
They just pile that shit on because they're so fucking good, and they're so good that when you take that extra person, you can put however many defensemen, however many skaters you want, and mix up the personnel. You're not going to be able to keep up with them, number one.
Right.
And number two, that extra man advantage gives them that ability to actually hold a possession inside the blue line. So now you're literally just feeding McDavid and Draisaitl and letting them do their little sideways dekes on your goalie, and you can't do anything about it.
That's crazy, man.
But I watched them, and I'm sitting here. Oh, God. Because I know the Hurricanes have a really good power play too, but when I was watching them, that's all they said in the pregame was like about the power play. Just keep them off the power play. Keep them off the power play. Keep them off the power play. And I'm like, okay, well the manager has to know this, right? Like,
if they're in the box talking about it, you'd think so.
90 seconds into the game, some guy literally just gives them the fucking lumber. Like,
wrong sport.
6 seconds later, Connor McDavid scores their first power play. Like, are you guys not listening to the fucking game? Like, what are you doing?
You gotta look that shit up, bro.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh man, look at these pits. Why am I sweating so much, bro? What's up with that?
I've got two fans out here, but neither one of them are on, and the garage is a little warm.
I guess I just gotta go. Anyway.
And the tequila's warming me up a little bit too. By the way, let's go ahead and we can start wrapping up. Let's go ahead and lean back in with the
Tequila of the
Josh's
week.
Tequila of the week. We gotta have a theme song for that.
Yeah.
Like.
What is it? Yeah, it's La Cucaracha. I'll pull that shit. That's no big deal. Or we'll just sing it every single time.
I just need you to
We'll just isolate that. We'll be fine.
Hey, no, I can do props too. I'll just have a little sombrero over here that I throw on. Throw a little
Hold up like a jalapeno and a fucking.
I'll
like,
throw on a serape and a fucking and some type of Mexican.
Get yourself a little like ukulele.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. I mean, we got plenty of room to grow here.
Exactly. Considering, well, I don't know. You probably didn't see the view. So we did have some people drop in occasionally. They didn't say anything. That's not uncommon on Twitch. That shit does happen. But yeah, we had maybe like 3 or 4 visitors.
Okay.
But yeah,
How long do they stay on average until I said retard or rape?
I don't know, about 2 minutes. But yeah, so I think going forward, we could talk about this too when I go offline here. But yeah, going forward, we'll be getting this shit out on YouTube. You said something about Reddit, getting this stuff out there available for people to see. So
yeah. So I guess we're gonna wrap it up. I know we didn't hit all the topics. We went off on some tangents. We might need another good thing that we could do here, Philbo, is have a screen, like something that you can put on the screen when like I just start ranting or like you just start ranting.
Just the Jeopardy.
Warning, tangent alert.
Every 25, it just needs to play at every 25-minute period, just to remind us, like, hey, you're not talking about what you need to be talking. I mean, but look, we're keeping it open. We don't necessarily have specific topics we want to hit on outside of a couple. So I think we only had 2,
and we only hit one of them.
Wait, what was the other one?
You wanted to go over your email.
Oh, well, that's fine. We can do that later. I'm not worried about it. I like the format we had. So, but thanks for joining us. Remember, that's Margaritaville Tequila from Mr.
They're not a sponsor. Margaritaville, when you see this, send us some free shit.
Yeah.
Plugging you more.
Yeah, hashtag not sponsored. But yeah, you guys, thanks for joining us today. Hope you go back, 2 years from now when we're actually putting out really good podcasts. Go back and watch this one on YouTube and see where it all started. All right, y'all.
And subscribe to this shit.
Subscribe. Yeah, subscribe to the shit. Exactly. All right, y'all. Have a good one. We'll see you.